Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second segment of our interview. Right now in studio, I have to my far right, I have Mr. Nixon Soita. That's Mr. UoN 2024-2025. And the lady in the panel, who has been sandwiched by the two of us, we have Anastasia Muiadi, who's Miss UoN 2024-2025. How are you guys feeling? Karibuni sana.
Thanks you so much.
So I just want us to hop right into it, but I really want to have an understanding. I think I'll start with you, Anastasia. Aside from you being Miss UoN 2024-2025, who is Anastasia?
Okay, my name is Anastasia Kagendo Moyapi. I'm 20 years old, a student of journalism and mass communication here in the University of Nairobi. Beyond being a student, I'm a beauty pageant model and also Miss Tourism Laikipia County First Runners-Up. And I am also a CEO and a founder of an initiative named Vijana Extra, which is community-based in Laikipia County. There I do advocacy on youth empowerment through education and innovation. And lastly, I'm honored to be your Miss University of Nairobi.
So quite a handful, a mouthful of accolades and responsibilities. We can see you're really doing a lot. What about you, Nixon?
All right, first of all, thank you for this opportunity to be here. I'm Nixon Soita. I'm currently a fourth year here at the University of Nairobi. I study English literature and linguistics education. So basically, I'm a teacher outside modeling. I'm also an artist. I'm a thespian. I spend a lot of time in theater, acting, and I've been privileged to write 2 plays so far. My recent play called The Recession premiered last week, and it really did well, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these. So my life is basically around art. I model, I act, I write. That's what I do.
I can clearly see that the whole lot of you are a jack of all trades. Yeah. But anyway, I really want to maybe take you back to 22nd November when you guys won your titles. Yeah. I just want to give me a feel. How was the feeling? Maybe hearing your name and the winner is, how was that feeling?
Honestly, the feeling is overwhelming a little bit because I remember when they were announcing the winner, like when the judges, and the winner is tag number 10, the only thing I could do is just kneel down.
Wow.
And thank God, like I've been working for this for so long and I feel like it was finally my time, so I'm just happy, I'm crying, I'm smiling, like it's just a lot of emotions, yeah? But I really loved it and it's just an amazing feeling.
What about you, Nixon?
Yes, for me it was a confirmation of all the hard work I've done because I've worked on this for years. So getting to that moment when I got to be finally crowned, it was like a confirmation that I have put in the work and I have really got it at the end of the day. I was elated and just happy.
Talking about putting in the work, I'd love you guys to give us maybe, but before the cameras were rolling, you guys were giving me, while we were in studio, you guys were giving me a brief highlight of how preparing was, but just give our audience a feel of how it was preparing for the competitions of Mr. and Miss UoN. Who would want to go first? Nani anaona yake ilikuwa moto kabisa?
Maybe I can go first.
Yeah.
Because for me, preparation was not just within these 3 weeks. When I participated in the pageant last year, Mr. and Miss UoN 2023-2024, I did not manage to get anything out of that pageant, so I basically just participated. So after the pageant, I made a decision that I want to be the next Mr. UoN a year ago. Yeah. So I started working on it. I went to the gym because in modeling, your body is very key. I had to work on certain aspects of my body. I had a weakness with my shoulders, so I had to balance that out in the gym.
Wow.
I had to start saving because modeling, honestly, is not cheap. It's quite expensive. You need the outfits, you need to have good designers. So I had to start saving some cash towards that. Fast forward to this 3-week boot camp that we had to go in with the other models to be trained. I had to work late on my catwalk, on my outfits to just ensure they are good. So a lot of preparations and a lot of research in terms of the Q&A questions that you're going to be asked.
Yeah.
You have to be knowledgeable on a variety of topics, what is trending in the news in Kenya, on the continent, or even globally. So preparing myself for that meant I had to have good time management skills, manage my time well so that I can balance all of that and effectively prepare for the pageant.
And here you are right now.
Yeah.
Despite you calling it a boot camp, what about you, Anastasia? How was the preparation for you?
My preparation started last year too because we
Wow.
were together last year,
Okay.
training for the same title. And last year I promised myself, this year I'm going to do better. And so I started growing, self-development, like my confidence, my public speaking skills. I had to set that right. Another thing I did is prepare myself financially because in beauty pageantry, especially if you're doing such specific pageant, you have to put in the money for your categories, the outfits that you're going to wear. So I started preparing for that a while ago to just put my money right.
Yeah, put your house in order.
And then we had a 3 weeks boot camp here in school. We were training there at the graduation
I can hear you
square.
guys calling it a boot camp. Was it really a
It's
boot camp?
Yeah, it's a boot camp training. You have to train
Okay.
the catwalk, the Q&A session, you know, you prepare even emotionally, like
Wow.
what if you don't win? What if you win? Like you have to be prepared for any outcome. So that is also something we had to prepare. We also had to prepare our social quotient, like how you interact with other people. Some of our contestants like didn't even have the ability to interact with others, but during the boot camp you learn that. So the preparation has just been like that. It's been intense here because we have a very intense trainer, Mr. Michael Musyoka, and he's a good one. So I feel like it's been such a
It was a
intense
true
training.
boot camp in
Yeah, a
itself.
true boot
Yeah.
camp. Yeah.
So anyway, right now you have talked about the training, and here we are right now. Mr. UoN 2024-2025, Miss UoN 2024-2025. What's next? What plans do you have once you guys, because you guys have already, is there a swearing in or some ceremony of the sort? But you guys are already in office. What
Yeah.
plans do you have? I can start with you, Nixon.
All
What
right,
plans do you have as
um,
Mr. UoN?
Thank you. When I was contesting for Mr. UoN, I had a plan. And being part of this student community for the last 4 years, I can say that I've experienced what the University of Nairobi is about. And our main agenda will be to empower the student community, give the students a voice, give the students a platform, give the students a listening ear. We have artists within the school. Can we give them a platform to grow their art away from what they're doing in class? Can we give students a comfortable environment for them to learn? Because there are a lot of issues, a lot of comrades face challenges mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. We need to devise a plan, come up with ways in which we can help, raise awareness on mental health issues, see what we can do, because I believe that as young people, we can provide solutions to our own problems. We don't have to wait for maybe politicians or who out there to come and help us. I believe that if we mobilize ourselves and have a concrete plan, we'll be able to achieve these things and create a comfortable environment for everyone.
So thank you so much, Nicholas.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay, like I mentioned in my introduction, I'm an advocate for youth empowerment, and being in this space as Miss University of Nairobi, this is just a platform given to me to broaden my advocacy and just focus on the youth empowerment, just like my mister said here. That is exactly what we're going to do. And we have a plan that we're going to have workshops and training sessions where we will be equipping the students of the university with skills to sustain themselves and grow and live their life in this evolving world, you know. So we will be having entrepreneurship lessons. We will be dealing with leadership skills, mental health, I think he mentioned that because that is key, and many other things. So.
And speaking about mental health, I really want to direct my next question to you, Anastasia. You guys are in the pageantry and beauty industry, and it's been really known that it's really creating unrealistic beauty standards, or maybe specific, going with the, some orthodox beauty standards in women and in men. And recently we had Miss Universe 2024, which went to Denmark by Victoria Thelvig. And I recently saw a tweet by Donald Trump Jr. I was talking to your predecessor just right now about this whole topic. And Donald Trump Jr. made a comment concerning the win by Miss Universe Denmark, saying that finally biologically and objectively attractive women are allowed to win beauty pageants again. So my question for you on this whole topic is, do you really think that the beauty and pageantry industry are adequately, representing people of different body types and different skin types, different skin tones? Do you think there's adequate representation in the beauty industry?
Okay, I feel like that beauty standard for the current Miss Universe world from Denmark, right?
Yeah.
It's set too high for an African beauty pageant girl like me, because she's blonde and she has blue eyes.
Okay.
As Africans, we can't
Yeah.
get that. If you see Chichi Vanessa from Nigeria, she had the story, right?
Yeah.
She had the physique, she was beautiful, and she was second runners up, not because she didn't deserve the win, but because she didn't meet the standard that is set. Usually in Miss Universe, they usually see the story,
Yeah.
the story that you have. And I think Africa did really well with giving people with real stories in that platform. Like, we had a vitiligo from Egypt, right? We had a Muslim from Somalia. We had Chichi Vanessa. She had an issue with being crowned Miss Universe SA South Africa, and I think they pushed the button like when they saw that, because it was very possible for Africa to win. So personally, I feel like the standard is already set and the beauty standard is very high, but we just have to figure out a way to break the barrier.
Talking about breaking the barrier, recently we had a documentary talking about there's this show in America, America's Next Top Model, and it was giving an expose on how the beauty and the pageantry industry is very toxic, and it's very, it has some loopholes huko ndani. But I just want to direct my question to you, Nick. Have you experienced any form of toxicity or any form of bad management in the beauty industry that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, definitely. The beauty industry, like any other industry, has its issues. There's the highs and there's the lows. So just like any industry, there are people who are there to stalk others, to abuse others. So you just have to know which is the right channels that I can use, which are the right agencies, who are the legit people, who are the right managers, the people that I can talk to so that I can progress with my modeling journey. But those things are there, abuse of models, and it's increasingly becoming obvious that men, especially today in the industry, are being targets even more than women.
More than the ladies, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that one is becoming an issue, and it's a matter of you having good guides, people who have been there in the industry. They understand, they know which one is the right way to go and which one is not the right way to go. So having people that are guiding you is quite important. Otherwise, you can get lost in the confusion.
So what about you? Have you faced any sort of, maybe because we were speaking to your predecessor right now, she was telling me about some instances where you're having pageant, the models being told to give sexual favors so that maybe they can be put in the lineup or something like that. Have you experienced any such stories?
I wouldn't say I've experienced that, but I've seen people experience it. I think when you become a model, you put yourself in a spotlight. Like, everybody is seeing you, and it's just sad that people don't see you for who you are. They see you for your body, they see you for your appearance, and that puts you in a position that people have to objectify you, and just see, hey, you're there, you're modeling in a bikini, like. So I think those things happen, and also body shaming is another challenge. A form of criticism that faces almost every model, because speaking from a point of experience, during the recent contest for Miss University of Nairobi, we had a bikini category, a swimwear, and if you check my TikTok page right now, it's around half a million views right now, and there are a lot of comments, and between those comments there are negative and positive
Positive ones,
so
yeah.
I think if you're wise enough to be able to navigate through this modeling industry, you have to know how to choose criticism.
And how do you handle this negativity, this negative comments? Are
You
you able
just
to?
take the positive comments and move on. Somebody is telling you have a nice shot. Thank you. Like, you just avoid, don't let the negative comments get through your head, you see. So you have to be in the mental space to not let things get to your head like that. Just choose the positive and move on.
Nick, I really wanted to ask you this question because, you know, conventionally, even in the African space, beauty has been seen to be a women's thing.
Yeah.
So I really want to ask, how have your friends, maybe your family, been able to, maybe how has the response been with you going into the beauty industry, going to a pageant? How have they accommodated that space?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, when I started pageantry, there was a lot of resistance, especially from those around me, because as you've said, traditionally, beauty has been
A women's
for
thing,
women.
yeah.
It's a women's thing.
Yeah.
But I believe that as men, we need to step into these spaces because we are just humans, like
Yeah,
any
men
other.
in women's spaces.
And God has, and this space is not for women per se. It is for all people.
Yeah.
It is for men and women
Yeah.
because God has created men and women and He has given us beauty. You can't say men are not, they don't have their beauty. So it is a matter of tapping into my authenticity, being myself and expressing myself using my body. And even though I've met a lot of resistance, after I have managed now to get to this point, there's been consistent support coming from my family and friends. Yeah.
Okay, I really want us to go to a more serious and pressing issues, and I want to direct my question to you, Anastasia. And right now, we're living in a space where gender-based violence is something that's on the talk right now. Everyone's talking about it. Every headline is about femicide, blah, 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 this, and that. Right now, we're having the 16 days of activism. So I really want to pose a question to you as the Miss UoN 2024-2025. What are some of the plans or maybe steps you want to take to maybe control that within the university fraternity, the gender-based issues?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that femicide is something that I fully condemn because everybody has a right to life, no matter what is happening, like no matter what you've done. We are not, as humans, we're not supposed to be at a point to take a life, yeah? But as Miss University of Nairobi, the first step that I would like to take is creating awareness on the gender-based violence issue because lack of knowledge is the beginning of failure. If we don't teach people how to take care of themselves, if we don't teach girls where to be in the right places and to be aware of themselves and even how to know toxicity just from our relationships, because I believe many people are in relationships na hawajui kama ni toxic. They assume that they're loved,
Yeah.
you know. So I think the first thing that I would do is create awareness on matters surrounding gender-based violence. Yeah, and also raising a generation of men who are not toxic. Like telling a man that it's not okay to raise your voice, to shout at your girlfriend or to shout at your sister just to feel superior, you know, that is not how you correct someone. So I feel like toxic masculinity should also be handled. Like, just tell them how to be gentle. Teach gents how to be gentlemen because clearly they're not being one. So yeah, I think that's just it.
So I really wanted to ask this question about body image because you've talked about the negativity on the online space regarding you wearing a bikini, but you're in an industry where being scrutinized or being judged is, you literally have judges at the competitions and at the pageants. How do you think the industry impacts contestants' mental health when it comes to the judgment and the criticism? How do you think it impacts the mental health, Chris?
For me, I think the impact is majorly on how the model handles themselves. Because if you look at the kind of training we get training even in terms of how to handle mental issues. The training we go through, that 3-week boot camp, is tailored in such a way that it trains your mental strength. Can you handle criticism? Can you handle tough situations, and that is very important. So for a model to incorporate that training in their daily life, and it becomes easier because, as you said, when it comes to negative comments, you just basically have to ignore and focus on the positive. So it's majorly a matter of how the model handles themselves and how they handle situations. It becomes easier. But if a model cannot incorporate the lessons that they have learned on mental stamina, then they are most likely to succumb to depression or something.
You've said
Yeah.
the model has to be able to handle the situation in itself.
Yeah.
However, sometimes I've been hearing speculations that when it comes to pageantry, you'll hear the winner has already been predetermined, or there's some loopholes that these people are going around with, and there are also some allegations of colorism, favorism in the industry. I don't know, have you faced some of those issues yourself?
Personally, I would say I haven't, because I've not been to many pageants, but I've faced unfairness. Like, sometimes people may give bribes. It's something that it's an unjust issue or thing that Kenyans are normalizing bribery.
Yeah.
But it happens, and I feel like it's not the right path for any industry either. So those things happen, yeah, they do, but you just handle them by being consistent, because nothing beats consistency and hard work. Hard work and consistency beats talent. And sometimes you may do a show that was meant to be stolen, but just because you stood out, it becomes like yours.
Yeah.
You just have to be outstanding. You just have to collect yourself in that runway and just say, this is mine, and believe in yourself. Do a show that nobody can take that from you. So that's what I believe.
What about you, Nixon? Have you had such an instance?
Well, considering that I've not participated in other pageants, I've not had that personal experience. However, I'm well aware that these things happen
Yeah.
because I have a lot of friends in the pageant industry. People pay money for pageants, especially local pageants.
Okay.
But the thing is having industry players who understand the game, who understand which pageants you can go for, because some pageants are watertight. You basically can't pay the money because they have, when they create that pageant, they have a purpose for that pageant. So you must fulfill the purpose of that pageant so that you can get the crown. So you definitely can't bribe. So understanding also which pageants to go for is quite important as a model to avoid such issues.
I remember earlier on, both of you were telling me you guys had to save up so that you can run for this year's Mr. and Miss UoN.
Yeah.
But now that's really begging the question. Maybe there's someone out there who really wants to, run for Miss UoN next year or Mr. UoN next year, and they have no idea where they're getting the money from. So, in your opinion, how do you feel these pageants should make these competitions more cost effective and more cost friendly, so that anyone can really apply?
Okay, I think the first thing that you have to understand when you're coming to this industry, or the modeling industry rather, you have to invest in yourself. Like, that is a compulsory thing to do. You have to work on your wardrobe, you have to work on your face, like you have to just look beautiful and handsome, if that's your case. So you really have to invest. So don't come here with the mindset that I don't have money, you won't make it.
Yeah.
So you just have to try and set your money right, and be literate on how to spend it, because it can be over costly and you may be forced to overspend sometimes. So I think you just have to set your pockets.
Priorities.
Or prioritize what you're going to do. Yeah.
Okay, so Nixon, the beauty pageants sometimes get under criticism. They're being told that they're outdated or they're irrelevant. How will you respond to this question?
Beauty pageants can never be outdated, and they will never be outdated. It's a matter of organization, because if you know pageantry, you know that pageantry is about giving back to the society. That is the whole foundation of pageantry, giving back to the society. So we can never tire giving back to the society, because there's always somebody who needs something. We are here because the student community needs us, you see. So we'll definitely be giving back to them. So it can't be outdated. What we need to do is we need to tailor our beauty pageants to address emerging issues, things that are coming up, and staying relevant. I think that is what is important. Yeah.
Okay, speaking about giving back to the community,
Yeah.
let's say we're having this conversation 1 year from now, once your tenure is over.
Yeah.
What conversation will I be having with you and I'm telling you, tell me about what you've done? What type of conversation do you wish to be having once that time reaches?
Well, we hope to have achieved our agendas, which is empowering the student community as we see. We hope to have done at events, to have basically touched lives in whatever way that we will be able to do. But one thing that I'm certain is that we are going to impact the student community at the University of Nairobi and the entire fraternity in whatever way that we will be able to.
What about you, Anastasia?
I am looking forward to being in a university where I have touched someone's lives. Like Anastasia, I didn't have dinner this day and you really provided that for me. For that I'm grateful. That is a positive thing to have done. I think I just want to have left a legacy that the university services are better for the student, especially when it comes to skill-wise. Like you've earned something, like you know you're better manager of your finances, you are a better entrepreneur, your mental health is better. That is what I want to hear, and that is what I want to witness in the next 1 year.
Okay, I don't know why I forgot to ask you this in the beginning of the interview, but you know, most of the times when we hear about pageantry and we hear about beauty contests, we only think about pretty faces.
Yeah.
We don't really try to understand, or there's this notion that it's just a pretty face and there's no brain behind it. Sorry to say that. Have you guys interacted with people who just saw you as this pretty face and never really wanted to see you beyond that, and maybe hear maybe the ideas that you have, or maybe the prospects, or maybe just, have you had such interactions, Nick?
Yeah, definitely, because people only see you on stage. They see the first thing that they see is your face, so they don't know what is behind.
Yeah.
For instance, people don't even know that I'm a playwright and I have a whole portfolio
Yeah, a whole
that,
play.
that I've written several. I'm also a director. I've directed many plays, so people don't see that. But I think it's up to you as an individual to occupy spaces and let people know that it's not just about my beauty. I have something beyond beauty, and that something is what is actually more impactful.
Yeah, there's a brain behind the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe someone out there is looking at this interview right now and is saying, I really want to be the next Mr. UoN or the next Miss UoN. I just want you to look at, let me start with you, Anastasia. I just want you to look at that camera and just give them a word of advice as we wind up. What word of advice you have to that person?
Okay, if you're there and you're just a girl like me, a 20-year-old, a 18-year-old, or even younger or older than me, I just want to tell you, take up space and be who you want to be, because nobody is going to do that for you. Nobody is coming to rescue you. Just believe in yourself, believe in God, and just tap into your power. You're a great person and you can do it.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. What about you? Look into the camera and give the next Mr. UoN some piece of advice.
All right. Hi there. The thing is, you need to tap into yourself. Self-belief is important. Your background does not matter. Where you come from does not matter. Your past is irrelevant. Believe in yourself if you want this, and go for it. No matter the challenges, you will find a way around them. And most importantly, remember to believe in God, because He's the source of all this. So make sure you tap into the Supreme and use it to your advantage.
It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. Thank you so much for giving us this interview. It was very insightful. I can't wait to see the amazing year that you guys have planned. I'm wishing you guys all the best, and all the best in your next careers, in your futures. And as you've said, Miss Universe, is that the next step? Mr. Universe, Miss Universe, is that the next step? That's something you guys see in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. We're wishing you all the best, and asanteni sana kwa kukuja. Anyway, that is all from us here at UNC TV. We've been having a very insightful conversation. We spoke to the outgoing Mr. and Miss University of Nairobi, and right now we had Anastasia and Nick Nick Soita. We've been speaking to them, just telling them, telling us what they have planned for the new year, and we can't really wait to see what work they'll put into place. And we have this conversation yet again next year. So remember, keep the conversation alive on our social media platforms. That's UNCTVK on X and also Instagram and Facebook. And you can also find us on our TikTok pages. That's UNCTV and Radio. And that's all for me. My name is John Chacha. See you next time.
UNCTV, empowering you.